Gonna do Smackdown um October 20th, 2023. Do my Smackdown review. My video is sponsored by Denise Salcedo, by DQ, WWE, and AEW Wrestling News. Joe Cronin, comment 167. There's Issa. My video is sponsored by the Wrestling Inc., Salamonster, and York. I think I'll make my video about 1 hour. Let's see how long my video will be. Let's see what the other podcast have to say about it.
Take out the red MEI and saying, let the games begin. And we all know what that means.
A lot to talk about on this show.
He did a great job.
John Cena teases retirement. Io Sky and Charlotte was the main event. Santos and Montefiore had a pretty good match. Logan Paul confront Rey Mysterio. Logan Paul gonna be a Monday Night Raw this week. Just to let y'all know. Bianca Belair's back. She came back at the end of the show and helped Charlotte get damage control. I think to send up Bianca to take the title. They could.
So God, let this be my day. Let thousands of dollars fall upon me. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person. I'm pretty sure everybody goes to Las Vegas with those dreams. Crystal Deck, thank you so much for the super chat, man. So you cued us in to get us into the beginning of this show, guys. And I'm curious to see what you guys thought because I'm about to be a real heel. So sorry to everybody. But I agree with Chris Ludek on this one, everyone. I thought this opening segment with Paul Heyman and LA Knight was kind of mid, everyone. And the reason for this is, let me break it down for you. So, Paul Heyman comes out, he opens up the show, and he talks to us about how Jimmy was responsible for costing Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes the tag team championship belts over on Raw. And then he reveals, which if you hadn't seen the wrestling news this morning, the LA Times basically broke that we are going to be seeing Roman Reigns versus LA Knight at Crown Jewel. And we pretty much already knew that. We had pretty much figured it out, but the official word was put out today. So Paul Heyman basically gives them a shout out and tells the people just in case they missed it. And I thought it was hilarious. So shout out to the masterminds over at WWE PR or whoever came up with this idea to have the Los Angeles Times be the ones to break LA Knight's news. Think about that. The LA Times breaking LA Knight news. I'm sorry, but that's comedy to me, guys. That is comedy to me. So I actually really enjoyed whoever's idea it was to do that. I thought was pretty funny, and I found the humor in that. So I appreciate that. Anyways, Paul Heyman starts saying that this is going to be the last time that we see LA Knight because Roman Reigns is going to do all of these things to him, right? You know, Paul hyping up his man Roman Reigns. And then we finally get LA Knight. He comes out and he tells Paul Heyman to leave. So Paul Heyman starts to leave. And then he calls out Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns is not there. Roman Reigns does not come out. So as Paul Heyman is exiting, LA Knight tells him, no, get back into the ring. You told me to get out. He's like, no, come back in. Shut up. Get back in here. I'm not done with you. And he tells him, he asks him actually what Roman is going to do to him. And this all leads into them announcing that there is going to be a contract signing next week between LA Knight and Roman Reigns. And then LA Knight tells Paul Heyman that he wants him to send a message to Roman Reigns. And that message is that this is LA Knight's game.
Hey, what the hell? Come on.
I'm seeing people here got a little bit of difference here. I'm going to be honest with you, everybody. I thought that this was nothing new. One of the things that I really want to see from LA Knight is I want to start getting like cool promos because that's the whole thing, right? Like people like LA Knight because he's cool. That's supposed to be the thing. But I personally feel that we're not getting enough like cool one liners, some cool jabs. I wanted to feel like LA Knight wipes the floor with Paul Heyman. And we didn't get that. It's the same thing over and over again. It's the same catchphrases, which is fine because that's what catchphrases are. You're supposed to hear this over and over again. That's fine. That's what a catchphrase is. But with the actual body of the promo, I want more to make me go, holy shit, this guy is funny. Or for me to go, holy shit, this was interesting. I didn't expect him to say that. Damn, did he really go there? I don't know. Any sort of reaction other than just me staring at the screen, waiting for like the punchline. It felt like we were getting the story, but there was never any punchline. Do the chat thing. And if you watch this video on a replay, let me know how you guys felt about this opening segment. But for me, I needed a little bit more. This was the hot dog without any of the toppings for me. All right, let's see what we got here and see what people. Oh, what the hell is going on in my chat? Alvin White Jr., you're the first comment I saw. I turned to see what people's opinions are, and I do kind of a skim to see, okay, who's talking about this feud right now. And Alvin White Jr. says, it's like missionary every single night. That Roman clip popped into my mind. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Thank you so much for being for making me laugh. You made me break kayfabe. You made me break kayfabe. I can't even get back to what I was talking about. All right, let's get to it. We got Tay here who says, I think LA Knight being in the main event spot is kind of overwhelming for him. Did you notice he's being stuttering with his promos as of late? That's actually been a thing that I had been noticing for a long time. This isn't as of late. This has been happening with LA Knight for a while. But and you got to think about this too, because well, it's hard to say. Just think about it. It's not LA Knight's not a new guy. He's been in the business for a very long time. And what do they say? All of the small jobs are the things that prepare you for the big moments, for the
Yeah.
big opportunities. So I don't know if like this the stuttering or the stumbling isn't
Here's Fightful Wrestling with Sean WhatsApp.
Well, but I'm gonna work to find out a little bit more about John Cena and whether or not he's even gonna be if he's gonna be around next month because they've got the actor strike still going on right now, and to my understanding, WWE believes they can kind of
that he gets, and most people that are on YouTube
Wrestling
are getting
Empire.
half of that. So
I'll come up with some cool stuff, some funnier stuff, some more creative stuff. I feel like that is what's going to help us be like, damn, you know what? LA Knight, that guy.
three votes. They have to be. They have to be.
Basically, LA Knight was supposed to be making a threat to Paul Heyman. Okay, that's what he was supposed to be doing here. All he said is that it's his game. Roman Reigns has been in some of the biggest feuds with some of the craziest things said or some of the most serious promos that we've gotten. We've gotten some really good stuff with Roman Reigns and other people. So I feel like just saying, oh, it's my game, like that isn't really saying anything. They need to come up with some more interesting stuff for LA Knight to say when he's on the mic because the catchphrases are over. He's got the tone. We talk about that all the time. He's got the voice. He's got the voice to do this stuff. But now it's just a matter of making him actually say cool things other than just the catchphrases. So that's where I was left. I was left with wanting more. Let's see what else we got here and see what people are saying. Kilo Johnny says the LA Knight segment was almost too spot on of old Steve Austin comedy promo, and it really made the comparison stick out. We got Ender Buckley who says people who have a history to trade on with Heyman feuding by proxy is very different than someone who really doesn't. All right, and we got a couple of super chats here, so thank you so much to everybody out here who's supporting. Seriously, I appreciate you guys a whole lot. And we got another gifted membership from Sheldon, who just gifted 20 memberships. Sheldon, you're crazy, man. You're wild. Thank you so much, man. Chris Ledeck sends in a super chat saying, super chap. Look at me. I'm LA Knight right here. Super chap. I've said that a million times, by the way. Chris Ledeck says, playing craps, I turned $80 into $1,200 in 45 minutes. That's my best run ever. Dude, you turned $80 into $1,200 in 45 minutes. That's good stuff, man. Gabriel Salazar says Denise should have broken the LA Knights news. I was gonna make a stupid joke, but I'm too embarrassed to make it. So I'm not gonna make my stupid joke. But you know what? I'm gonna make my stupid joke. All right, I gotta get it out now that I said it. All right, so think about it like this. If the LA Times broke the LA Knights news, does that make it local news? God, that joke was even stupider out loud. Delayed Grad says, Denise, you're dropping facts. I love LA Knight, but they haven't let him say much for a couple of months now. Yeah, it feels like they're kind of playing it really safe with him. And that's cool and all, but I think people want the kicker, you know? People want him to come out here and make you go, holy shit, LA Knight has just arrived. That's the feeling that you want to get. Johnny says, don't worry, New York Night will debut soon. New York #1. Imagine all of a sudden we get the 50, we get all the states, we get New York Night, we get Texas Night. Just make the rounds, man. Just get all the freaking nights. Johnny, thank you so much for the super chat. Mike Parker sends in a very generous one saying, glad the guy has finally gotten a break, but we are seeing the cracks in LA Knights doing the exact same routine he was doing as Eli Drake. Catchphrases are great, but they are the bun on the hamburger, if that makes sense. That completely makes sense, man. I get food references more than anything, man. And it's true. I feel like all of the makings, all of the ingredients are there for LA Knights. They're all there. It's just a matter of them. Because here's the thing, like people kind of talk a little bit about how LA Knights in ring wise kind of leaves a little bit to be desired, right? You can work around that, sure. We've seen it happen for other people. You can definitely work around it. But the thing that has gotten LA Knight popular is the catchphrases, it's the way that he sounds. Okay, cool. So you know that on the promo side of things, that's where you have to kind of elevate it. You have to elevate that. And so for me, again, that's what I would like to see of more jabs, more kickers, more things to make you go, damn, I can't believe he just said that. That was freaking funny, or that was freaking cool. Whatever it is, the feeling that you want to get people to evoke. The point is, you want to get people to react.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. At least that's my personal opinion on all of this. David Kaplan says, hello, Denise. Do you think LA Knight will be pinned at Crown Jewel, or will they protect him? Also, Logan Paul is really easy to hate. Thoughts? I think that Roman Reigns should pin LA Knight clean. Completely feel that Roman Reigns should pin LA Knight clean. I don't think there's any reason to not have Roman Reigns pin LA Knight cleanly. And Logan Paul is very easy to hate. That's why when he was kind of not wanting to be a heel, when he first started doing all of this stuff in WWE, it didn't really feel natural. I think that it started to feel a lot more natural when Logan Paul started being a heel, because people love to hate the guy. Like, people just don't like him. And because more so of the stuff that he has done outside of WWE. And for that reason, people don't like him. They don't like him. I like Logan Paul, what he's done in WWE. I'm a fan of his work in the WWE, but regardless, it's a lot easier for him to be a heel because that just fits him a little bit more naturally. Thank you so much to David Kaplan for sending in that super chat. Stephen Marchuli says, Knight feels more like a fit to go over Rollins at WrestleMania. Reigns versus Cody 2 feels like the end game. Yeah, 1000%, guys. LA Knight to me is not the end game for Roman Reigns. It's just not. And so I think that's part of the reason, and I've said this before, that's part of the reason why I think they're doing this match at Crown Jewel. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Stephen Marchuli, thank you so much for that super chat, man. I appreciate you. And let's go ahead and get into, since we were talking about Logan Paul, let's get right into that then. So we had actually really enjoyed this. I'm not going to lie. I was a fan of everything that we got here. So, well, not everything. I would just say like 70%. A little correction, like 70% of what we got here. So Logan Paul comes out and he's talking about his fight, and he's reminding us about his first match in the WWE. He talks about how he defeated Rey Mysterio. And I know a lot of people were probably like, I don't remember Logan Paul defeating Rey Mysterio in a one-on-one match at the beginning of his career. That's because it was a tag team match, and so they made sure to make that correction on commentary, or rather, not a correction, but the point was that Logan Paul was kind of like over dramatic. Roman Reigns actually showed up to wrestle. Damn, he's out here hitting us with facts. And then he says, an LA Knight didn't even have a job. So that's what I mean, guys. That's what I mean by having you something in your promo that makes you go, oh shit, he went there. When he said that Roman Reigns actually showed up to wrestle, I'm like, damn, he freaking said that on Smackdown on Roman Reigns' show. That got a reaction out of me. So I did like this little mini portion of the Logan Paul thing, but everything else I thought they could have just maybe sped up a little bit, because the guy starts bragging about how great and how much money he has and how great his prime is doing. So then Rey Mysterio finally comes out and tells Logan Paul that he actually reminds him of his son Dominic Mysterio. He says that they both have natural ability. Sorry, that nearly killed me. All right.
Salamat the sound off. His is not on yet.
Is he comes across like he picked up pro wrestling like very, very fast. Anyway, so he says that they have a lot of similarities, that
Most creatively bankrupt I have seen WWE, and that's saying something, because I covered summer 2019 through early 2020 World Title Program, which is one of the dumbest periods I've seen. So at least at that point, there were some people within WWE that are like, maybe this will change. Maybe
being a douche and saying things in Spanish to Rey Mysterio. Oh, I loved that. I thought it was some good heel heat to be kind of disrespectful in the way that he was saying speaking Spanish, sort of like in a mocking, disrespecting way to Rey Mysterio. And of course, Rey knew what was going on, but he tells them at the end of this, once the match is made for Crown Jewel, because we are going to be seeing Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio at Crown Jewel for the United States Championship, Logan Paul looks Rey Mysterio dead in the eye and he says, Buena suerte, amigo. He didn't say it like that, but that's what he was going to say. And so they shake hands after some hesitation on Rey Mysterio's part, but he decides to shake his hand. And we're going to get this match. I actually enjoyed, I loved the fact that we were just talking about Logan Paul being a natural heel, him going out there and speaking this broken Spanish directly to Rey Mysterio's face, who is a freaking icon. I thought was really good heel heat, and it made you want to hate Logan Paul, and then it also made me want to laugh really hard, because I always love hearing people talk Spanish when they're not fluent in Spanish, because they sound funny, so it's great. So I had a phenomenal time with this, and I am definitely, I don't know where you guys are at on this right now, but I'm definitely expecting to see Logan Paul defeat Rey Mysterio for the U.S. Championship. I feel that I have a feeling that we're going to go from Logan Paul defeating Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship and maybe getting a program between Logan Paul and LA Knight. Uh, that's kind of my estimation right now, or my guess on where things might be heading down the road. There's not too much to support that whole theory, but that's kind of where I'm leaning towards in terms of what I'm expecting to happen here.
And that fight thing too.
And BTW, another shout out goes over to Sheldon Jackson, who just gifted another 10 membership.
And that fight thing too. I think, and I know JD from New York and Andrew Badala talked about this, and I think that should happen. I think Logan Paul could beat Rey Mysterio. LA Knight losing to Roman Reigns. LA Knight's not gonna get buried. It may hurt him a little bit. It might hurt his momentum, but he can go into a program with Logan Paul. Now, Logan Paul is a celebrity. He's a part-timer. He's not going to be there every week. He's only here for the big pay-per-views. Will he be here for Survivor Series? Maybe the Rumble, but he's not going to be on TV every week. And you should have your champion on TV every week. Especially when Reigns is not going to be there every week. So maybe he could win it and drop it as Survivor Series. I don't like that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens at Crown Jewels. It should be a great match between these two.
It's, dude. Oh, I'm pointing at the wrong place. Heat magnet. It's just from every. And I feel like then afterwards, you kind of continue to hear stuff like Paul and Jake Paul and things that they have or have not done. I have no idea. I've only heard certain things.
Solomon to sound off. They're just Allen.
You know, you clearly want to put over WWE if you're there and you're taking the time to go out and wrestle, because if he does win the United States Championship, you want it to mean something, right? You don't want to go someplace where you think it's easy and win gold, and then all of a sudden it's not a big deal because you went out there and you said it was easy. You got to go out there and hype people up. It's like when you're talking about promo 101, right? Anytime you got any
spooky-esque. Like, listen, I find the ways that he gets over. One, being very physical in the ring. Go back.
All right, so hold on. These are all the podcasters who are on right now.
What if he like that? I can sit file.
Well, he was supposed to give it up, but we got to set something for bloodline. It'll be the fun thing. Supposed to tell him
Oh wait,
they did last week. It seems to be all up in Johnson's grill and
every time you think he's done, he comes back.
But I feel like Cross is like that one little thing away from clicking in the right way. It's just a matter of doing it, because online perception.
But John Cena, once he goes back to Hollywood, is not going to be doing the exact same thing. Thank you so much to Head for Life, who is.
As Charlotte Flair was being ganged up on by damage control, she was saved by the returning Bianca Belair, making her first appearance on TV in over 2 months. Bianca came back tonight, she cleared the ring of all heels, she helped Charlotte Flair with her feet. Now, it's clear to me where this is going in the future, and I see exactly where the story is. We'll talk about that. John Cena on the show tonight. Not the only person teasing retirement this week. We got the announcement from Sting the other night on Dynamite that he will be retiring at Revolution 2024. Weeks shy shy of his 65th birthday. So as we prepare to bid farewell to Sting, John Cena was in the ring tonight, teasing that he too has retirement on the brain. But he also pointed out a statistic that was pretty amazing, and I didn't even believe it at first. But he pointed out a pretty amazing statistic about his win-loss record over the past several years. And now it looks like he may have an opponent himself at Crown Jewel. He has not been announced yet for the Saudi Arabia show, but I find it hard to believe that he won't have a match. Jey Uso made a cameo tonight, even though he is on Monday Night Raw. Jey Uso lost the Undisputed Tag Team titles. If you were with me the other night, we talked about that. The loss, Cody and Jay going down to the Judgment Day, thanks to Jimmy Uso. So Jey Uso returned the favor, went after his brother on the show tonight. That led to a very interesting exchange backstage between our two general managers. Now, why the Raw GM was on Smackdown tonight, that was never explained. But they were face to face, and we got a little tease for War Games. Still no announcement. Got a little tease for some games coming up at Survivor Series. And Logan Paul was back. First time that we have seen Logan Paul here on WWE television in several months. He was here to call out Rey Mysterio. They had a face-to-face. Their match is now official for Crown Jewel. They will be wrestling for the United States Championship. And I will say, even though I enjoyed the show tonight, but it was a good episode of Smackdown. They moved the key stories along as we go into not only Crown Jewel, but Survivor Series. Again, I love Nick Aldis in the role of Smackdown GM. He was briefly on the show tonight. They didn't overexpose him. There's still time for them. But I have to mention this. We were through the first 90 minutes of the show. And in the first 90 minutes of a show called Smackdown, we had barely 15 minutes of actual wrestling. Even though I enjoyed the show overall, you can't have under 15 minutes of wrestling in the first 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's Vince McMahon in charge. I don't care if it's Triple H in charge. At least Triple H did a good job of keeping the show interesting. But I don't care who you are. I don't care who's running the show, who's booking this stuff. It has to be called out.
Yeah.
So they gave us a 15-plus minute main event, which was good. But still, come on. Sub 15 minutes of wrestling in the first 90 is ridiculous. But we're going to talk about this whole show tonight because this is your Friday Night Smackdown review.
Backstage, we also find out that Jey Uso has been fined $10,000 by Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis is mad that he came over to this brand uninvited, attacked Jimmy, and so he wasn't having it. And Adam Pearce is kind of upset because he's like, oh, like that really doesn't make sense for you to fine him. So then he says, you know what? I'm gonna escort you and you out. So he escorts both Adam Pearce and Jey Uso out of the building. And before Adam Pearce leaves, he looks into his eyes and he says, let the games begin. And I'm like, oh yeah, Survivor Series season now. Everybody strap on their red and blue t-shirts because we are getting the battle for brand supremacy, which we only care about this time of year. So that is where we are at with all of this. And let's see what people are saying. Cena Lauer says, keep the jobber Cena streak alive. 2002 days. They gotta end it, guys. That's embarrassing. You don't want John Cena with that. You don't want John Cena with that kind of streak. All right, we got some super chats here. This is from Sheldon Johnson, who says, my only concern about Logan winning the U.S. title would be, does he follow the Brock Lesnar track and show up sporadically, especially with a mid-card title, plus with Roman doing the same schedule now? Yeah, I know that's the one thing that is keeping you wondering whether or not. That's the only thing putting a damper in my plan about Logan Paul defeating Rey Mysterio and becoming the U.S. champion, because you definitely do not want a U.S. champion that you're only seeing every now and then. So yeah, I do agree with you, but given what they have been doing, I feel like they are setting us up to actually have Logan Paul a little bit more consistently, at least for this time period, because he's out here mentioning Rey Mysterio after his fight. In multiple interviews, he has said that he is coming for championship gold. Now, I was about to say when you're champion, that means that you're there. But I guess that doesn't necessarily really mean that based on what we've seen with both Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. It doesn't technically mean that if you're champion that you're actually going to be on the program each and every single week. But whatever. I think if you're the US champion, I would hope you show up to the program each and every single week. So I'm kind of thinking that they have a plan here, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe he's going to show up a little bit more. If at least it's just for this. Now, if he loses that crown jewel, well, then completely forget everything I just said right now. But I do think if he wins, that they have something set for him to actually show up a little bit more. Now, I know he has like a million projects and a million things he does outside of WWE, but I feel like they could have, I think that they can probably work something out. Who knows? Metalhead for Life sends in a super sticker. Thank you so much, Metalhead for Life. We got Stephen Marchuli who says Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny at WrestleMania someday, please. Dude, I would love that. I really, really would. But here's the thing, like both Logan Paul and Bad Bunny have had exceptional performances whenever they have had any sort of wrestling match, right? But every time they're in there with a more seasoned, established wrestler. So I can't imagine Logan Paul and Bad Bunny being out there just them two. You know, I don't know. I feel like you might want to have somebody else who's just a little bit more seasoned, a little bit more experienced, and is doing this on a continuous schedule, right? Like somebody who's not just out here sporadically. So as much as I would love to see Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny, I don't know what that would look like. But damn, talk about a spectacle though. That would be a spectacle. And I do think that if you were to promote a match like that, oh, that would definitely bring in people that are not pro wrestling fans. Like you'd be getting the Bad Bunny fans, you'd be getting the Logan Paul fans. Like that.
Right here in this ring. He says if Roman
Also, shout out to the peeps from Facebook. Y'all are freaking wow, you guys are so kind. I've said this before, I'll say it again, but Facebook is currently my fastest growing social media platform. Like literally last week, I was celebrating crossing the 5,000 follower mark. This time, this morning,
Of The Rock, it does feel tough. I actually almost think opposite of your last sentence. I thought for the first time with Cody, he didn't need to beat Roman. He just needed to beat somebody. Now it feels personal to Cody, and I think LA Knight, you could just pop the title on if you want a transitional champion at any point. I also think you could get LA Knight going after Seth's title at some point. He could beat Damian Priest for that. So, and of all the talk that they've done about this big trade,
from either man, but I thought it was effective in setting up next week's contract signing. Obviously, they didn't have Roman Reigns on the show tonight. There's only so much you can do when the champion is not present. Has not been most of the summer and fall so far, but I thought it was effective in setting up the segment for next week. And you know, when they made the announcement earlier today in WWE, tweeted this out about the match for Crown Jewel, LA Knight getting a championship match. I mentioned it was a year ago, this month, that LA Knight got his name back. He shed the skin of Max Dupree. He was once again LA Knight. And he was on this show. He was on Smackdown almost a year to the day, wrestling Mansoor. That is what LA Knight was doing a year ago. Fast forward a year, and now he's going to Saudi Arabia to wrestle Roman Reigns in the main event of the WWE Championship. That doesn't happen if Vince McMahon sticks around and doesn't leave when he did a year ago. This doesn't happen if there isn't a change at the top in the creative hierarchy in WWE. If Vince McMahon does not get phased out and Triple H does not gain some measure of creative power. LA Knight is doing something else. But he sure as hell isn't wrestling Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. A lot can
Against Jack
change in a
Walker,
year. A lot
Pete
has
Dunne,
changed in a year. And there is no
Pete Dunne,
single
I think.
person on this roster who has been a greater beneficiary of Vince McMahon being shuffled off to the
Hopefully have them change my mind, right? By just having her go out there and have good matches, because Io Sky gets over when she's actually wrestling. When you have your champion wrestle and she's doing what she's incredibly talented at doing, she's going to get over. And so having her in this match with Charlotte Flair, oh, there was a lot that I loved in this match. So there was some good
into power creatively, and Vince McMahon stepping aside and being preoccupied with other things. And LA. So you love to see it. So now the question is, what happens when he loses? Right? What happens when LA Knight goes all the way to Riyadh and he does not win the WWE Championship? Because LA Knight is not winning. I love LA Knight. I'm glad he's finally getting his big break, but he is not winning the title. He could take solace in the fact that Cody Rhodes was another popular babyface who got beat by Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. He got screwed out of the championship by the Bloodline. And Cody Rhodes has been able to maintain his popularity. Cody Rhodes is still doing okay. Cody Rhodes is going to WrestleMania next year. He will get his rematch with Roman Reigns. So if you have LA Knight get screwed at Crown Jewel out of the championship, all is not lost. He is not buried. He is not finished. He'll be fine. I mean, look, you saw the face-off between Cody and Roman on television last week. It was brief, but there was a buzz in the crowd. They took that face-off, by the way. They put that on YouTube. So it was a video of a face-to-face confrontation. There was no match. There was no pushing. There was no shoving. There was no physicality. Over 1 million views on YouTube for a face-off between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is going to be just fine. LA Knight is going to be just fine as well. Of course, the key, though, is what you do with him coming out round. You're heading into Survivor Series. It's very likely that we're getting a War Games match. And LA Knight should be a part of that War Games match. He should be on the babyface side of things. And honestly, whether it was a War Games match or it was a traditional Survivor Series elimination match, old school style, he's going to be on the side of the baby faces. He's going to be on Team Cody, right, or whatever the team ends up being. So LA Knight will be fine. But again, I'm happy for him to be in the position that he's in. If you would have said that a year ago, very few people would have believed he would be where he is right now. We had Santos Escobar one-on-one against Montez Ford. Santos with a super kick. He sends Ford out to the floor.
This possible breakup with Damage Control just to stop it out of nowhere. So I don't know. I'm still expecting to see Bayley at some point turn on Io, but I think right now she's definitely gaining her trust, because even when she helped her out at the pay-per-view, really surprised by that. She was very surprised by that. I think so were we. Anyways, so Charlotte gets pissed off, as she rightfully should be. She
in the past 18 months. Like, that guy, he has grown leaps and bounds, and that's only through hard.
Sledge out to the slingshot double sledge.
Hold on for a minute, Chief. Hold on for a minute. Wait a minute, player. You know, this is just retribution for Jay showing up on Raw. So, an eye for an eye. But
This is
you know what?
Josh Allen.
You make a good point. Guys, take Jay Uso's ass and Adam Pearce's ass off of my stuff. And Adam Pearce is like, oh, you gonna kick me out? You gonna kick me out? This means war. What kind of war? Oh, you know what kind of war. War games! We going there. Good stuff for war games. But also, it feels like we're teasing a feud between Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce. Now, I like this. I want to see where they go with it. But I do have an idea that could come as a result, and I'm very curious if you guys will like it. The other last big thing we'll talk about, because there are other stuff that happened with each other. The last noteworthy thing is Io Sky does retain against Charlotte. Love Charlotte, but we don't need another title reign. Y'all hear me? We don't need another Charlotte for a title reign. But afterwards, after Io Sky beat Charlotte and her and Bayley swarmed the Queen, Miss Wu, Bianca Belair made her triumphant return after being taken out earlier this year. She went on vacation just to get a break, but now she's back. And she runs off Bayley and Io.
We put out there that she doesn't really want to be a heel because she does a lot of
Given the whole you don't deserve it, you know, like, I actually like this segment and I thought it did a good job.
So for us to get that mix,
They were bragging about their victory and how they would never have to see the Brawling Brutes ever again. Imagine what happened next. They showed up at the salon. They
to the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley adding Bianca, but I don't know if that's where they're headed as of right now. We'll see. Warhammer, what's up? He sends in a super chat saying, I already chose my side, Team Smackdown. How do you pick sides? Well, I guess you can pick sides depending on which show you prefer. Do you prefer SmackDown? Do you prefer Raw? Or maybe you can pick based on your favorite color. I don't know how you decide to pick. I think for me, I don't really care about brand supremacy, but if I had to pick a team, if I had to pick either Raw or SmackDown, I would go with SmackDown because I've been enjoying SmackDown a little bit more lately. So for that reason, I would go with SmackDown. But thank you so much to Warhammer for the super chat here. All right, we got a lot of people saying, by the way, that they need heel Bianca. We got Dr. Thanos also predicting Io Sky versus Bianca at Crown Jewel, maybe. Well, you got to do something with Charlotte and Bayley now because now they've got beat. You got to give Io and Charlotte another match, I think, because well, first of all, this one was great, but also Charlotte kind of got screwed. And then you got the whole element of Bianca in here. So Bianca, Io, Bianca, Bayley, which we've seen Bianca Bayley a whole lot. I wouldn't mind it if they did it again because I really love their work together, but it's kind of been there, seen and done that. So you might want to just switch it up just a tad bit there. All right, so that's what we got with the women and the closing of the show. We got a couple more things to talk about, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up the show. But before I do, guys, just a friendly reminder that this Sunday I will be here for a bonus.
It was 1,138 days, and now it's 1,147 as the undisputed WWE Universal.
Show up to work.
Last one, a televised singles match. He said his last singles win on television in WWE was in 2018. And when he said it, I didn't believe it. But it is true. For over 5 years, John Cena got a singles win on TV. This man has been buried. You believe it? What a job. What a jabron.
Yeah.
5 years, he hasn't been able to pick up a win. He got emotional.
That means on
He's
Raw or
been,
SmackDown.
talking a whole lot about retirement.
Business. Denise clearly knows her stuff. I am now at 62 ratings on Apple Podcasts. You guys know that my goal is to get to 100 ratings. Please, guys, it really helps me rank a lot higher, getting more reviews, getting more people following the actual podcast, whether you follow on Apple or Spotify. It really helps me climb up those ranks so that more people can discover the show. So if you guys can, please head on over there. And then also you'll see on the screen that I uploaded a brand new interview with none other than the Mad Dragon. Ilya Dragunov. Now, you guys know I'm a big fan of Ilya. I don't need to tell you guys that. I got like about a 10-minute interview with him today. It was very quick, very brief.
Oh, up the bloodline. He comes down to the ring, and they go at it. Cena even gave him a stinger splash in the corner, which I thought was kind of funny, actually, given that we were in the same week. Here we are talking about John Cena teasing the idea of retirement. In the same week that Sting literally announced his retirement. Here's Cena giving a stinger splash in the corner. Solo Sikoa, again, I don't know if that was an intentional thing, if that was the connection that we were supposed to make or not. But that was not lost on me. But here comes Jimmy Uso to the ring, and Jimmy Uso gives him a super kick that did not connect. Put away from his face. Cena sold it anyway. Suddenly, a hooded man dressed in all black, perhaps one of the men who laid a beat down on Jay White on Dynamite several weeks ago, one of the ninjas, I don't know. But he pulls Jimmy Uso. This person pulls Jimmy out to the floor, and then the hooded man reveals himself to be Jay Uso.
Thank you so much for the super chat. All right, guys, let's talk very quickly about the remaining items on SmackDown. We had Santos Escobar have his match against Montez Ford. And basically, prior to this match, we had Bobby Lashley hyping up Montez and trying to get him to start winning matches, trying to get a more aggressive side of Montez Ford out. And we did see a little bit of that throughout this entire match. We kind of saw a little bit of an angrier Montez Ford in the ring, so that was kind of cool to see. There were some good moments during this. There was a spot that I enjoyed where Montez was about to go to the top rope, but instead Santos Escobar stops him by kicking him in the head with an enziguri, and then afterwards climbs to the top ropes, hits him with a hurricanrana. Very, very cool spot that I liked there. And I wasn't a fan of the finish, but it was what it was. We see Santos get distracted with the outside with Angelo Dawkins and Wild and Cruz. They start doing their thing on the outside and distract Santos Escobar. He gets rolled up by Montez Ford. Montez wins. And then we see Santos get jumped. So Carlito comes down. He runs in with the chair, makes the save for him. And that's pretty much how we close out this segment. This was fine. I don't know if I'm necessarily over the moon with it, but it was what it was. It was okay. I thought the match had some good moments, but I thought the finish was a little bit weak. Pretty Deadly is backstage doing a vignette. They're getting a pedicure. They're chilling and chatting about Taylor Swift and the Eras tour, and they're talking about Travis and Taylor. And before they can continue their conversations, they are attacked by the Brawling Brutes, and it closes out with Ridge Holland telling Butch that they should go grab a pint. Two totally different teams. They do totally different things when they're hanging out, man. But I want to be friends with Pretty Deadly, guys. If I could be friends with anybody, it'd probably be Pretty Deadly. But anyways, Pretty Deadly, Brawling Brutes, good stuff. Looking forward to continuing seeing Pretty Deadly now that they're back.
Yeah.
Now that they're completely back. Looking forward to seeing them have some good matches. All right, speaking of tag teams, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. So, we have been talking about them for a second because they've been doing a couple of teasers for them, but they hadn't really said anything until tonight. It looks like they're being called the Unholy Union. Before, they didn't have a team name. They were just Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. I'm pretty sure of that. Since NXT, they were just Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. So now they're going by the Unholy Union. They just put it on the screen. The Unholy Union is coming. And for those of you who aren't familiar with their act, they tend to do like these like witchy, I don't know what you call it, like witchy stuff. I don't know, they're witches. They're in the forest. I love them. I think they're a great tag team. I think they're really freaking cool. And I just want to see them appear on the show. And they better have them out here before this month ends, because how do you not have your witchy act? How do you not have them on the show during the month of October? Like, I feel like you definitely need them out there. So, anyways, there's not much else to add about that until they actually come out. We also saw Cameron Grimes and Dragon Lee team up to take on Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. I thought they highlighted Dragon Lee very nicely in this match. But for the finish, we do see Austin Theory hit the A-Town down on Cameron Grimes. Gets a win for his team. Nothing much else that I want to add there about that. The Kevin Owens interview, I loved this. And shout out to Kathy Kelly because I thought she did a phenomenal job. And I really hope that they do more interviews like this with Kathy Kelly hosting these because I think she did phenomenal and it felt very relaxed. It was easy to listen to. And it's simple. She's asking him about being traded to SmackDown, being separated from Sami Zayn. He reminisces on the good memories. He talks about who he might want to have matches with. He's mentioned that he's never had a singles match with Rey Mysterio or Sheamus. I didn't even realize that. Hell yeah, let's get those matches. And then he mentions that, well, you know what? At least we on SmackDown, it might be a new slate for me. So this was so easy, so simple. I really, really enjoyed this. I also liked that they did it sitting down. It was pre-taped. I loved it. This was good stuff, man. They need to do more of this for sure. Alrighty, guys, that is it for SmackDown. Next week, SmackDown will be airing on FS1, and the big thing that they are promoting for next week is the contract signing between Roman Reigns and LA Knight. So that's the big thing to look forward to for next week. Alrighty, everybody, that is it for today. As always, thank you guys so much for supporting. Please do not forget to check out that Ilya Dragunov interview. And then please do not forget to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. I check every day, guys. Every day I log in, I already have it saved on my tab and I go, okay, let's see who left a review today. So make sure you guys leave a review or else I just look like a goof going on and there's no new reviews. All right, guys, thank you so much. And I will see you guys back here on Sunday. Have an awesome week. And also a reminder that I will be on tomorrow on Busted Open on Sirius XM. Thank you, guys. Bye, everyone.
The idea for Survivor because I am so over the brand warfare stuff. I was so happy to see it get junked last year. We got a reprieve from it. Doing the Raw versus SmackDown shit now for how many years? Never bothered to treat the brand split with any level of seriousness. And yet we're supposed to care when we come to November. We got the red shirts and the blue shirts. Like people were so loyal to one brand over the other, and it was even worse in past years because they always had the draft in October.
Exactly.
So you'd have people being moved back and forth from one brand to the other. Somebody's on SmackDown who spent the whole year on Raw, but they got the blue shirt on, and it's like, well, I'm Team Blue now. Yes. The whole thing was just ass backwards, upside down. And so now they have installed general managers. Right? We have Adam Pearce representing Raw. We have Nick Aldis representing SmackDown. But it's way too soon. If that's the idea, maybe it is. If that's the idea, way too soon to be jumping right into the brand warfare. War games, if they're going to do a war game, it sounds like they're doing one at least for the men's. War games should be based upon the stories that are currently going on at this moment. You have stories involving the bloodline, involving the Judgment Day. You have an alliance that was formed on this very television show only a few weeks ago between the Judgment Day and the bloodline that has not played at all, has not played out at all on television in the week since. It's almost like it's just been completely forgotten. Maybe it has been. Maybe with the creative change that recently took place, maybe it is going to be forgotten. I hope. When I look at what war games could be this year, what the team's potential for war games could be, I look and I see the bloodline. I see members of the Judgment Day on one side. You can get 5 people back, even without Roman Reigns. And then on the opposing side, you have Cody Rhodes, you have Jey Uso, you have LA Knight, you have maybe Sami Zayn. And you have an open spot for someone who looks like he's on his way back very soon to WWE. He's got a bone to pick with the blood. Because the last time we saw him on television, he was being beaten down by the blood. A year and a half. Guess who's on his way back? Probably by Survivor Series. Randy Orton. So that's how you put together a war game. You don't put it together based upon
Randy
red versus
Orton.
blue. Who's on
Randy
the
Orton.
Monday roster. Who's on the
Randy
Friday
Orton.
roster. We just had Jimmy Uso show up on Monday. We had Jey Uso show up on Friday.
Yeah.
Because it creates this weird situation then where it's going to be brand versus brand. Where does LA Knight fit?
Yeah, he should be in there.
Right? Because he's on SmackDown. So that's going to be an interesting question now as we head into Survivor Series. We get the War Games. Are they doing brand versus brand? Or are they going to do the right thing and create teams that actually make sense?
Yeah.
I just think it's way too soon to jump back feet first into this brand. You just put these two guys in charge of these two shows. You got to give it time. Triple H now has a chance. This is his show now, for real, right? Or so we're told. He has the chance now to make this brand split feel like a real brand split. That takes time. A month is not long enough. So I'm excited to see what happens now with this whole Aldis versus Pierce thing. I think they can make it work. But I don't see how that works as far as the configuration of the team, unless you do like a wild card type match like they did back in 1995. I just don't see how that works.
Yeah.
Logan Paul.
So they could do, Randy Orton could show up. They could have Randy Orton and Roman Reigns, and then Cody Rhodes get involved. Randy Orton been out for a year and a half. He got taken out by the Bloodline after they lost the tag team titles. I feel bad for Orton. I feel bad for Matt Riddle. He's no longer with the company. Hopefully Orton comes back. I wait till the Rumble, or maybe that's too long. Maybe come back at Survivor Series, and will he be on SmackDown or what? It would make sense for him to be on SmackDown. I don't know what he does on that Raw unless he's gonna do something with Cody Rhodes, but it would make sense if he's on SmackDown. Going after Roman Reigns.
Was back on SmackDown. And he was out to the ring next. And he said that 6 days ago, he was in England beating the living daylights out of a scumbag. He's talking about Dylan Dennis. He says that he won his fight. And he says to call it a fight was an insult to combat. He says if he wanted real competition, he could have another WWE match. He beat an internet troll, a man who hides behind the mask of the internet. Speaking of masks, he said, look, I'm not here to talk about
Alright.
again, round.
Yeah.
Can't let this Dylan Dennis thing go now.
JD from New York. He's also gonna be talking. Well, it's gonna take a while because I think he just started. Yeah, he just started.
Dominic, he was a little reluctant, but with Logan, he says he is not going to hesitate to whoop his ass.
Felt at home. He was able to really make himself feel like a main event player on the same level.
The ROH talent, they love to drive me insane. The dream match was revealed, so plug your ears. You don't want to spoil it.
No big twist at the end. They had their little back and forth, which really wasn't anything special, but they shook hands. And now the match is official. So crown jewel Logan Paul will get only his second championship opportunity in WWE. His first one was a year ago in Saudi Arabia against Roman Reigns. They actually had an excellent match. He lost. Didn't work out for him. Now he's going after the United States. The idea of Logan Paul challenging, all of a sudden being obsessed with wanting to be the United States champion, does kind of feel like it came out of nowhere. You can make sense out of it. it is believable because, as he pointed out, his very first match in WWE was against Rey Mysterio, Rey and Dominic tag, and he won. He and Miz won that match, so he technically has a win over Rey Mysterio. Now he sees that Rey Mysterio is a champion. Well, he wants to be a champion, and he looks at Rey, who's half his size, and he figures this is going to be a cake, right? I can finally hold some gold here in WWE. So I can believable premise, I think, for the match I can get behind. I actually think Logan Paul would make a fine United States champion under one condition. And this is a big caveat here to what I'm about to say. Logan Paul can be the United States champion, but if he's going to be the champion, he needs to be on the show. SmackDown can ill afford to have two absentee champions at the same time. We barely get to see Roman Reigns. He has had a stranglehold over the top title in this company now for 3 years. And that stranglehold is going to continue well into 2020. He's here 1 week, he's gone the next 3. You cannot then take your secondary championship on the show, which is what everybody else is left to fight for. Put it on somebody, on a part-time celebrity who's only going to be on the show once every blue moon. You can't do that. There's no point in even having a United States championship if that's what you're going to do with it.
Yeah.
So if he's going to make the commitment to be on the show more often and maybe even wrestle some TV matches every now and then, it's an idea that I can get behind. He would have to avail himself of the company more often because I just cannot support the idea of having two absentee champions on the same show at the same time. It's just insanity if that's what they plan. If he wins it, though, I will say, if he wins it, it does give LA Knight something to do heading into WrestleMania. Because, as I said, LA Knight is not walking out of Riyadh as the WWE champion. So, as I was thinking, okay, what do you do with LA Knight? He's not going to wrestle for the title at WrestleMania. I saw, I think, on one of the betting sites, apparently he's one of the favorites to win the Royal Rumble match next year. I don't think he will. Yeah, he already won the Battle Royal. He won the Slim Jim Battle Royal at SummerSlam. He's not winning the Royal Rumble. Well, what do you do with him, right? And I think we were even talking about this several months ago about potential matches for LA Knight or WrestleMania. And Logan Paul was one of the people that I was talking about who was on the list. Now, I didn't have the thought necessarily of being for the U.S. title at the time. But at least that would give something for him to challenge. So, yeah, could I see Logan Paul leaving Crown Jewel for the championship? Yes, I can. And taking it all the way to WrestleMania and defending the title there. You know, whether it's against Knight or somebody else. I can definitely see that. But where does that leave Santos Escobar? Right? If Logan Paul wins this championship from Rey Mysterio, I would like to know where that leaves Escobar. It looked to me like when Rey said he was going to go out there and do this on his own, Escobar looked a little frustrated. And, you know, a lot of us have been waiting to see when are they going to do this turn. It just seemed like this was going to be an inevitable thing. That there was going to be some sort of falling out between him and Escobar, and it was going to lead to a feud between the two. And it looks like they still may be on that path. It may not be for the United States Championship. You know, here I thought that ultimately the title would end up around Escobar's waist. Maybe it won't. You know, maybe the trigger for the fallout between them is Rey losing the title at Crown Jewel. I'm curious to see what they end up doing with Escobar and sort of sidetracks him in some way, which would be a shame. You know, now Carlito is back. He's part of the LWO. You know, does this end with LWO going heel and Rey getting bounced out of the group? I mean, there's a few different ways they could go with this. You could have Carlito eventually be the one to do a turn. He leads the LWO instead of Rey. He probably should go heel with that music. He's not going to change his music back. He may as well go heel. We had Dragon Lee and Cameron Grimes against Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. They took a break very early into this match. When they came back, Waller was working over Lee. Theory tagged in. Lee, though, landed a DDT on both heels. Got the hot tag from Cameron Grimes. Grimes hit a crossbody on Waller. Then he got a German suplex on Theory for a 2 count. Waller went to the outside. Lee hit a huge dive out to
Introducing Dom.
With the rolling stunner into the ring. It's
Down, and they're gonna reinforce that. Good. That makes shit even more interesting. What's the consequence for you showing up on a show you shouldn't be showing up on? Well, Jey Uso got fined. Good. I like it. I like it a lot. And this is building to War Games. Hopefully. We'd like to see that be the case. Rey Mysterio did a promo with LA Knight. Psych.
Twice, so he plugged it up twice, I guess.
A on a pole match. There you go.
Two on a pole match.
No.
My theory.
But that's not.
empty arena stands earlier in the day.
All right. Hold on. Now that's Crown Jewels on Saturday, November 4th. Gonna be at 1, I think it starts at 1 o'clock. That's when the show starts, at 1 o'clock. I think 1 o'clock. This is Smackdown. Like I said, Dragon League, Cameron Grimes, Austin Theory, Grayson Waller. Pretty good match. Match was very short. As Salamato said, there was like 50 minutes of wrestling on the show. Really not good. It was actually a pretty good show, a decent show. There was a lot to talk about. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn changing their name to become the Unholy Union. We had Logan Paul challenge Rey Mysterio in a very good segment here. They were very good. I'm looking forward to the match. The match is unpredictable. We don't know who can win this match, which I do love. I love unpredictability. There could be a swerve. Something's gonna happen. Now Logan Paul is a celebrity. He's a part-timer. So if he can, first of all, if he wins this match, he needs to be on. He needs to be on the show every week. He needs to be on pay-per-view, because it's bad enough that a Roman Reigns is your world champion. He's not showing up every week. He's not defending at every pay-per-view. He's not on the show every week. Now you're gonna have it for your mid card. How are you supposed to get excited about SmackDown? Because 2 of your single titles are not gonna be on TV. That means we have to rely on the women's title, and there's no tag team title because the other days on Raw. So that's not good. And Logan Paul wins it. He's a transitional champion. I haven't dropped it to Santos. Where that leave Santos? Some people think he could win it and lose to LA Knight. It is a possibility, but I think Rey Mysterio might retain, and maybe they'll set up Rey Santos Escobar. They're still setting up something to, like, what if the LWO turns on Rey Mysterio? Santos goes heel, he beats Rey for the title. Yeah. We had a pretty good segment with Kevin Owens. He's at SmackDown, and once again the Kevin Owens show. He had a great interview with Kathy Kelly. Yep, I was surprised that Kevin Owens said he'd never wrestled Rey Mysterio before, or Sheamus. So those are matches that we could see. We did get John Cena. He also teased a retirement, that he may retire. John Cena had not won a singles match on live television on Raw or SmackDown in 5 years. Some people think that's a burial, and I'm actually surprised by that. Now, John Cena is a part-timer. He does movies in Hollywood. He doesn't wrestle that much, but he has not wrestled a singles match in 5 years. In 2018, I believe it was on Raw or SmackDown. I think it was. But he came out there. He had a brawl with Solo and Jimmy Uso. They came out. They double teamed John Cena for a good bit. Jey Uso came out. We went after Jimmy. Security threw him out. And Nick Aldis fined Jey Uso $10,000. He also escorted Jey Uso and Adam Pearce out of SmackDown, escorted by security. There's some tension there. They're building up some storyline. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. What can happen in Survivor Series? If there gonna be war games, they already confirmed that's gonna happen. Nick already said, "I'll let the war begin." So eventually, something's gonna happen. Maybe it could be Team Aldis and Team Pierce against whoever they choose for the war games. We'll have to wait and see. We did get Santos Escobar and Montefort pretty good match. I believe Montefort won because Santos got distracted. That was a pretty good match. We got Pretty Deadly and the Brawling Brute. They're still going to continue their feud. I don't know when the match is gonna happen, but then that's it. LA Knight had this okay segment with Roman Reigns. LA Knight said the Roman Reigns days are numbered. LA Knight had lots of Roman Reigns in the bloodline. Now next week on SmackDown, we will get Reigns and Knight in a contract signing. That's really pretty good. Next week on SmackDown, SmackDown gonna be on FS1. Yeah. Yeah.
So now,
I forgot the main event was Io Sky versus Charlotte Flair for the Women's Championship. They went about 15 minutes. I think the match ended in a DQ. It might have ended in a DQ. Where I think Damage Control got involved, then there was a brawl, and Bianca Belair came back after being off TV for 2 months. She came back. She helped out Charlotte. It says Io Sky used her time to defeat Flair. So she basically won by DQ. But anyway, Bianca Belair came back. I'm looking forward to that. I wonder if we're gonna get Bianca and Io on Crown Jewels. Maybe a triple threat match. I don't know. I think something had to happen. Yeah. Doesn't end kind of lame, but whatever. Now let's go back to Solomon the Sound Off. We got Just Alex, Fightful Wrestling, JD from New York.
Have done last week's show and missed this week. It's really nothing happened there that I really care for. We knew Roman Reigns and LA Knight was going to be made official. It actually was made official earlier in the day via Twitter. They announced that on Twitter. Logan Paul already called out Rey Mysterio, so we knew that he was going to show up and what he wanted. So that was made official. Everything else just kind of seemed to fall flat, in my honest opinion. Again, not a bad show, but we're going to try and make sense of what happened on the show tonight. And I want to thank you guys for joining me right here on the podcast. Diamondbacks 6, Phillies 5. That makes me smile. Thank you. Now listen, man, congratulations to the Phillies, but why would I be going for the Phillies, man? We don't want to see a rematch of the World Series from last year. We want to see some new faces, new blood, fresh faces. We don't want to see and the way things are going, Texas is choking. But yeah, fuck the Phillies, man. Fuck the Phillies. Anyway, Braves got their own problems. They need to fix some minor problems that they had here. They should have won the World Series this year, going into next year. Don't know how they're going to top themselves next year with what they did this year. But again, man, time will tell. Time will tell. But I appreciate you guys joining me on the show this evening. You guys are awesome. Happy to be back.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are.
Oh, what? My bad. Oh, I didn't know there were.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It does bug me in certain times like this.
I don't know.
She got her rematch. She got screwed again. You know she's getting another one. And this time, when she gets the next match, it's going to be a situation where Bailey and
With DraftKings.
it brings her one step closer to 16, which brings her one step closer to breaking her father. And we get Charlotte and Bianca. Same destination. But as far as the show overall, I enjoyed it. Again, I thought it was a good show. Next week, they're going to be on FS1. They're being bumped. Roman Reigns will be back. We'll get our contract signing with him in LA Knights. That is on the show next week. Let us take a look at the poll for tonight's show. 81%. Look at this.
Wow.
81% thumbs up. Very strong score. 18% thumbs down. Just shy of 500 votes in so far. What is Damage Control then going to do at WrestleMania? We'll finally get that Bailey and Io. And Damage Control is not correct. WrestleMania may well be Io Sky against Bailey, or it could be a triple threat match. Because by then, I would think Dakota Kai probably would be cleared by then. I think there was talk maybe that she could potentially be cleared around Royal Rumble time. Even if she misses the Rumble, I would have to think that by April, Dakota's going to already be back in the ring by then. So you could have a triple threat match between all three members of Damage Control come WrestleMania. They finally go their separate ways. That could be the match.
Countdown.
500 votes. Only 330 likes. I don't know.
On Monday, we were live on Tuesday.
All right. Now, in case you guys haven't noted, we do have the new Spider-Man 2, the Marvel Spider-Man 2 for the PS5. There's a lot of people who are playing it right now. All right. Oh, my bad.
You know, when I first saw this game,
Is that a flamethrower?
Alright. Um,
I'm I'm trying to get that combo.
WWE Tag Team Championships. We're going to go back to this discussion again because I feel like we're going to get a change in titles, at least aesthetically with the title belts, very, very soon. I feel like WWE needs to merge the tag team division. I still think that. I'm not going to ever think another way. I really do think that it would be best if both the Raw and SmackDown tag team divisions floated like the women's tag team titles. If those titles can float between Raw and SmackDown and NXT now, why can't the men's tag team titles float between Raw and SmackDown? And when it is absolutely a necessity, NXT. I think that would be great. They don't really have a lot of tag teams on Monday to fill an entire division. They don't have a lot of tag teams on Friday to fill an entire division. But WWE may use it, and they have used it as a vehicle to have a champion on Raw and then move those people over to SmackDown and use it that way. Meanwhile, you know, they still get the benefit of people going from one show to the other. The way that I would do it and the way that I've been preaching since 2016, you'd have all that talent that is readily available between Raw and SmackDown because you'd be merging the divisions. That's just me. The two prototypes apparently that they have is a regular set, one set of tag team titles, no double belts here. And they are traditional titles. Don't know what they look like. And the other prototype is basically a different take on the current titles that we see now. So we'll be seeing new tag team championships very, very soon. He asked if everyone has heard the other news from just a few days ago. He said it's the most read article in the LA Times tonight. Doubtful. He says it's Roman Reigns defending the undisputed Universal Championship at Crown Jewel against LA Knight. So they're making it official. It's been made official as of today. He told the fans he dresses better than them and makes more money than them. And the commonality is that they are both fans of LA Knight. Paul Heyman is a fan of LA Knight. He says he has long admired him. He told the fans not to shout LA Knight, yeah! But they did it anyway. When he's talking, he says they should all watch that match because it'll be the last time they see LA Knight in the ring because Roman Reigns is going to smash him. Knight's music then played, crowd erupted. He walked up to Heyman and says he's been making a lot of noise tonight. If you want to make a lot of noise, make a lot of noise. I'm right here. He wants to talk directly to Roman Reigns, though. He doesn't want to talk to Paul Heyman. Reigns didn't come out. Reigns wasn't there. Heyman tried to leave. LA Knight insisted he re-entered the ring. He says if Reigns isn't coming out, where's his lip now? You want to talk all that trash before, but now that I'm here, you don't want to say a word. He asked Heyman to elaborate on what Reigns is going to do with him. As Heyman began talking, Knight told him to shut up. He asked Heyman if he thinks last week's spear was a warning shot. He asked if he regrets saying that. He says he's like Michael Myers. They knock him down. He'll keep getting back up until he's the undisputed champion. LA Knight told Paul Heyman that Reigns should just admit he's scared, if he's scared, because he hasn't seen anyone like him before. Yeah! Knight asked if he likes that and told him to do it. Heyman said, yeah, and Knight called his attempt at yeah pathetic. Knight said next week there'll be a contract signing in the middle of this ring to make the match official, as if the article in the LA Times wasn't enough. He told Heyman to make it clear to Reigns whose game this is, and the fans shouted, LA Knight, yeah! Shoved the mic into Paul Heyman's chest and left the ring. I've spoken about this quite a few times already, and I'm going to reiterate it again because people clearly, haven't watched, or you might have missed me saying it. You might have missed me saying it last night with Andrew Baydala. You might have missed my tweet when I said it this week. I am not agreeing. I am not one of these people that agrees with LA Knight versus Roman Reigns right now for the Undisputed Universal Championship. I get why WWE is doing it. LA Knight's the biggest babyface in the company. Yes, LA Knight is bigger than Seth Rollins. Yes, LA Knight is bigger than Cody Rhodes right now. The reactions that he's getting trump both Rollins and Rhodes on any given night. WWE wants to ride the LA Knight wave of momentum. They want to strike while the iron is hot with LA Knight. I get it. But at the end of the day, when we get to Riyadh in 2 weeks, LA Knight is not winning the Universal Championship. LA Knight is not going to be a world champion, at least right now. LA Knight is not going to be the man to beat Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is not dropping the title before WrestleMania. The only man he drops the titles to are Cody Rhodes. That is it. I think many of you already listening to me understand this. This is not a secret. This is not some new information. This is common logic. They're doing LA Knight because A, it's Saudi Arabia, and B, he's the hot hand right now. But the thing is, LA Knight is the biggest babyface in the company. He's the hottest star in the company right now. Does that mean let's throw him into the fire? Let's throw him to the big bad wolf, Roman Reigns? Because at the end of the day, I don't give a shit what LA Knight is. I don't give a shit how hot LA Knight is. I don't give a shit what you think of LA Knight. At the end of the day, LA Knight is going to lose. Why would we jeopardize LA Knight's momentum? Because we need a match between LA Knight and Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel. See, that's the way that I think. You know, foolishly, I think wins and losses still matter in pro wrestling. The more you win, the better off you look. If you're winning and then all of a sudden come to a end boss, this is the final boss of WWE. If you come to the final boss of WWE, Roman Reigns is basically the one-winged angel, Sephiroth. What he is from Final Fantasy VII. Or whoever else you want to depict as the final boss. Dr. Wily, Ganon, one of you old school heads will probably get those references. But you want in the game. Has he? I don't think he has. Has LA Knight conquered every dungeon in the game? Has LA Knight found all the little secrets and trinkets within the game? Has LA Knight defeated the DLC? He hasn't. LA Knight's skipping a whole chunk of the game to get to Roman Reigns because LA Knight's the hot hand. That's not the way I would do it. LA Knight should be chasing an Intercontinental Championship, the United States Championship, not the Universal Championship. So when he ultimately loses to Roman Reigns, what is everybody going to be crying about? Oh, WWE should have pulled the trigger. WWE should have did this. WWE buried LA Knight. LA Knight this. LA Knight that. But I'm telling you guys right now that LA Knight is not going to win the match in 2 weeks. It's a foregone conclusion that he's a loser. This is why I don't like this match.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't. You may like it. And I'm not saying it's not going to be a good match. It's going to be entertaining as fuck. My eyes are going to be on Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and that match. Fine. But LA Knight and Roman Reigns does not make any sense. It doesn't. The one thing WWE is going to have a very difficult time doing is keeping LA Knight hot
and keeping that LA Knight momentum when he loses. How are they going to do that? That's the big question. Riddle me this, Batman. How is WWE going to keep LA Knight hot in a losing effort, a predictable losing effort at Crown Jewel? Explain it to me. For all the geeks in the back who think they want to know everything, or think they know everything, who think they know more than I do. How are they going to do that? What are we going to get? A typical bloodline ending where with interference and Roman Reigns cheats to win with the numbers game like we haven't seen that one before? Outside interference in some way? Is LA not going to win by DQ? LA not going to win by countout? Kind of a winner, but still a loser because he didn't win the championship. How are they going to do anything different? What is their plan to make it feel different than every other Roman Reigns title defense?
Yeah.
That's the big problem. We've been there, done that with Roman Reigns. What they need to do, how they do it, I don't fucking know. I don't work there. I'm just a podcaster. What they need to do at the top of the priority list is keep LA Knight fucking scorching hot, even in defeat. Some way, somehow. Get him into the War Games match against the Bloodline / Judgment Day with Cody. Put him on Team Cody. Have Team Cody win. Have the Bloodline implode. Judgment Day implode. Cody gets a victory over Roman Reigns before he goes on to finish his story. Then LA Knight can come out of that a winner. He's on the winning team. And then we start building his WrestleMania road, which I already stated should be Logan Paul and the United States Championship. That's the only clear direction for LA Knight going into WrestleMania. I already see people on social media saying LA Knight should win the Royal Rumble. No. LA Knight is not winning the Royal Rumble. If he wins the Royal Rumble and wrestles Seth Rollins, I don't know. I'll figure something out. I think that would be a great match. I actually called for that match to happen this summer by having him win Money in the Bank and doing that match at SummerSlam. But now you want to do it at WrestleMania? No. Now, it made sense this summer. It doesn't make sense at WrestleMania. You want to know why? Because Seth Rollins is going to lose that championship to Gunther. Gunther should win the Royal Rumble. LA Knight's not winning the Royal Rumble. And LA Knight's not wrestling Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Stop dreaming. Seriously. You want to go do that? Go do it on a video game. Don't do it in real life. It's not happening in real life. LA Knight, he's going to be fine. Now, I make it sound bad, but it's going to be fun. I make it sound bad, but I'm excited about the match. I'm just worried about the creative on how they get LA Knight from one point to the next. That's what I'm worried about. If this was the old administration, I'd be more worried. Being that it's Triple H's administration, I think will be fun. I genuinely believe that Triple H knows what he's doing with LA. But I don't agree with him getting a championship match right now because the way that I look at it, if I've already stated, yeah, LA Knight Roman Reigns is official for Crown Jewel, and I'm already putting this guy in a match with Logan Paul for the United States Championship. He wrestled Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, and then a downgrade at WrestleMania for the United States Championship. Don't you think it should be reversed? Don't you think he should win a secondary title and work his way up and then become a world champion? No, let's put him in a championship match, have him lose, and then drop him down to a secondary championship. Yeah, he's on TV. Yeah, he's the biggest babyface in the company, but the logistics of that, the way that I look at it head on, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But that's been made official for Crown Jewel. LA Knight is going to be fine. He's going to be fine. He's going to be over. The fans love him. Yeah. Everything's going to be right there, ready to go after Crown Jewel. I'm just worried about how we get there. So that was the opening segment. Paul Heyman's great. Everything Paul Heyman does is fucking fantastic. And my iPad just shit the bed. Great. You know, these new iPads, man, I don't know what the fuck is their problem, honestly. I try to turn it on and then the screen freezes. Like my screen is black.
Yeah.
Like you see the time there. Look,
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I really don't get it. Now I gotta go into my computer and get my notes.
Hold on. Oh wait, never mind. Sorry, I'm trying to fix something.
By my great friends over at Dread. NFL fans, are you ready for some more exciting action on the
Well, sorry, I might as well just end the video since it's getting late. My screen getting all black for some reason. I actually hate when it does this. Yeah, so there's AEW Rampage. I didn't watch Rampage. Rampage was like an hour. And my who will face Orange Cassidy for the International Champion. Ui Soho takes on Sky Blue. Claudio and Wheeler return to Rampage. What is a good show? Of course it was. Besides everything with LA Knight and Roman Reigns, Rey Mysterio and Logan Paul, John Cena and the Blood, Charlotte and Io. These were the only four things. Those were the only four things on this show. Fightful and just Alex, and it looks like they were.
three matches tonight, believe it or not. Not really the best match. Couple of botches in this one, but it went about 9 minutes, 10 minutes. Guys could do a lot better. Dumb finish. But it's still continuing the feud between the Latino World Order and whatever Bobby Lashley's calling his new group. We still don't have a name for Bobby Lashley's new group, man. What is Bobby Lashley's group called? Are we just calling them the Hurt Business? Do they have a name? Did I miss something? Did I miss the memo? I don't know. So the two guys locked up to begin the match. Ford had control early, kicking Escobar, some big time elbows by Montez. I like this heel Montez. I like this heel Street Profits. They're a little bit more vicious. This is what Bobby Lashley wants to see. This is what he wanted to see out of his new recruits. Some vicious tactics. Any way to win, they take it. I like it. Ford landed a beautiful dropkick. Literally a Mr. Perfect-esque dropkick by Montez.
Yeah.
Ford got a high-standing frog splash for a 2 count. Escobar got back to his feet. He started making a babyface comeback. Ford kicked Escobar in the head, and Escobar was perched on the top rope. That sent Escobar to the outside, and we go to a commercial break. We come back from commercial break. Montez was still in control. Lashley was shown watching the match backstage. He was very pleased about what he was seeing from Montez. Ford went for some type of springboard move from the second rope. and it looked like a modified bulldog. I don't know what the fuck he did. He jumped on the second turnbuckle, then jumped backwards, and he did like a reverse bulldog. It looked very sloppy. He barely connected with it. It looked completely unnatural, and it did not look good. So Escobar ultimately got back and fired up and kicked Ford to the outside. Escobar landed a dive and rolled Ford back into the ring. Escobar went to the top and a beautiful cross body block for a 2 count. Escobar then hit double knees in the corner, big meteor. He set up for his finish, the Phantom Driver. Ford got out of it and went back up top himself for a big move. Escobar cut him off and landed a Inzaguri and a top rope Frankenstein. Dawkins pulled Ford to the outside, and Escobar went for a splash of some kind, and this was the second botch of the night between these two. Did not look good. I don't know what it looked like, a half-ass double axe handle smash of some sort. I don't know what the fuck it was, but it did not look good. Either way here, the referee's back was turned. Dawkins ran Escobar right into the ring post. Both factions are outside. They began brawling on the outside. Escobar got his revenge on Dawkins. Escobar then rolled back into the ring, and Montez rolled Escobar up for the win off of this chaos happening on the outside. Hooked the tights. 1, 2, 3, and Escobar gets cheated out of the victory here. Montez Ford wins the match with the hooking of the tights. A big brawl broke out after the match. Carlito ran out to the ring to save things for his guys. He ran out with a chair to break things up, and the heels dispersed when they saw Carlito. Can I make a suggestion to anybody in WWE who may be catching wind of this show, please? I don't know why the company pretends to be cheap. We know they're not cheap. We know that they have unlimited refunds, resources, unlimited funds. They should be refunded for this fucking theme song that they gave Carlito. I don't know who the fuck they got to make this theme song. I don't know where they got these people from, but holy shit, whoever you need to pay for the rights to use his I spit in the face of people who want to be cool theme song.
Yeah.
Can we please get that theme song back?
Yeah.
Carlito ran out, and it just did not hit at all. It did. It sounds very generic. It sounds very create a character in WWE 2K24. It's awful. It's almost like WWE. Some of the people in WWE don't realize how important a theme song is. Basically, Seth Rollins is all theme. That's it. The only reason why people like Seth Rollins is because they can do whoa. That's all they love to do. That's all they care about. Everything else is goodbye. Second best. Carlito needs his theme song. It doesn't hit the same. When his old theme hit, people got excited. This new theme, it's like, holy shit. Lame as fuck. Same thing with Johnny Gargano. You guys remember the old Rebel Heart? You hear that theme song, man, it's like, oh man, Johnny Gargano, man, winning a championship for the first time, man, slaying the ultimate heel on the roster. That theme song goes off, man. When he beat Adam Cole at TakeOver New York, man. Can you imagine? Imagine the moment if Adam Cole beat, or if Johnny Gargano beat Adam Cole at TakeOver New York, Morrow on commentary, and his theme song now hit the PA system. It would not hit the same at all. Let's get his theme song back. We gave Ciampa his theme back. Why can't we do that for other people? Same thing with Shayna Baszler. Do you guys hear what they got Shayna Baszler coming out?
Yeah, I do.
I don't even know why. I can't even hum it if you ask me to try.
Yeah, terrible.
It's so fucking terrible.
Yep. You're right about that.
God. Death Rebel. Who makes up Death Rebel? They're awful. Awful, awful, awful. Mamma mia! Damage Control were shown backstage hyping up Io Sky as she readies herself for the injury. She's going for her 112th title. Yes, I know she doesn't have 112 title reigns, but you guys get my sarcasm. Oh. The LWO were shown backstage. This was kind of interesting to me because I was focusing on one man only, that's Santos Escobar. The LWO were shown backstage and they were interrupted by Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega. Mysterio said he was going to take care of business with Logan Paul. He wanted to make sure his boys and woman were okay. Vega asked Rey if he wanted the rest of them to have his back because they are family. Mysterio said, thanks, but no thanks. I'm going to go at it alone on this night. He thanked Carlito. He hugged Carlito. He shook Carlito's hand. Carlito said, no problem, bro. We're family. All the while, Santos Escobar is standing there, and he's got this lost look on his face. He looks very down. He looks very upset. He looks very, I don't really want to be here right now, standing amongst them. Just had this blank look on his face. Is he upset, Ray? Is he upset with the rest of the LWO? Is he going to take his boys and split? I don't know, man. We're looking at a potential Santos Escobar heel turn, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, me
I
too.
think that's going to take him to the next level.
Yeah.
It really is. Highlights of last week's Pretty Deadly match aired, and they were shown in a vignette getting a spot treatment. Pedicure and a manicure, and they were sitting in the salon, and they had their feet in these little baths, soaking their feet. Whatever, man. Pretty deadly. And then all of a sudden, the Brawling Brutes showed up and attacked Pretty Deadly during their spot treatment, which was kind of funny. Rich Holland finished it by telling Butch after they finished this job tonight, they should go grab a pint. Grabbing a pint always sounds like a solid plan. Where is Sheamus? What I want. Are they continuing the Brawling Brutes without Sheamus? Is Sheamus injured? What is the latest on Sheamus? Do we have any news on Sheamus? Seems like the Brawling Brutes are continuing on without Sheamus. In fact, the Brawling Brutes have been doing some work with Tyler Bate down on NXT. I wonder if WWE is prepping everybody for a new Brawling Brutes with Tyler Bate as the leader. That would be interesting. It's about time that man got called up to the main roster anyway. Never mind if he's joining the Brawling Brutes. But where is Sheamus? He's injured. Okay. Just want to make sure the man's contract's up next year. I want to see if WWE is going to end up renewing Sheamus. If he's injured, fine. But WWE doesn't really, or at least they were not pushing the Brawling Brutes when he was on TV. They were just basically there. Now, that was under the Vince McMahon administration. Now we got Triple H booking the show completely. I wonder if it would be any different for the Brawling Brutes. Last year around this time, they were the second biggest action on WWE TV. If Sheamus gets back, I wonder if they go right back to being the second biggest action on WWE TV. I don't know. Backstage, Jimmy Uso, Paul Heyman, and Solo Sikoa were sitting together in the locker room. Jimmy, very much acting excited. He was acting like a class clown here. Jimmy says he was the starting quarterback at Raw, even though Reigns called the play. Uso celebrated. The camera cut to Paul Heyman, who wanted to shut him up, and he wanted to bring attention to what they were watching on TV. There was this nice cool transition with Paul Heyman pointing at the TV, and John Cena walking into the building. John Cena showing up and walking backstage. He was making his way out to the ring. And we got John Cena live on Smackdown in front of San Antonio. John Cena's out there, sold out crowd, fired up. Cena said, followed by the fact that he was fired up. We got thank you Cena chants, and he got very emotional. Says the thank you Cena chants meant the world to him. Thank you for that. Cena thanked the crowd. Cena says it was a rough day because he got hit with some harsh truths. Cena says he felt he should be honest with everyone. Cena brought up Roman Reigns' streak as champion. Cena said today he found out he has a streak of his own. 202 days. It's a lot of days. 202 days. Since he last won a televised singles match. 2002 days. Since the likes of all of the AEW troll accounts on Twitter got laid. It's probably more than 2002 days. You guys know who I'm talking about. John Cena's got a streak of his own, 2002 days. Hasn't won a singles match on TV in that long. His last win was back in 2018. Wow. A lot of fucking days, man. That is a lot of days. Cena says he's been talking about retirement. We just had Sting talk about retirement. Sting is retiring from pro wrestling at Revolution 2024. Cena's mentioning retirement here on Smackdown. Cena says it was time to face the facts. He reiterated it's been a long time since he had a win. Crowd chanted, "You still got it, you still got it." Cena said, "Damn it, I believe in me. I believe in you. I believe in us." Cena was basically toying with everybody's emotions. Cena says he could still go, and the time is now to turn the match around. He says it's going to be a bad night for the next idiot to walk.
All right.
Jimmy Uso out of the ring. They start brawling. Security got in the way, killed himself. It ended up being Jey Uso. So Jey Uso infiltrated SmackDown because he was upset with what Jimmy did to him by costing Jey and Cody the tag team titles on Monday. So he was looking for revenge here tonight. Security got in the way, broke up Jimmy and Jey, back in the ring. Solo went for the Samoan spike. Cena ducked it and countered with an attitude adjustment, and Cena posed to end the segment. Looks like they may be setting up Cena versus Solo Sikoa at Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel may be the end of John Cena's run right now in WWE. I think with John Cena going back to Hollywood, he may not be back for Survivor Series. He may not be back until possibly WrestleMania if he is available for Philadelphia. So he will be in Riyadh, and that's where I think his current run comes to a close. Does he get the victory over Solo? I don't know. They alluded to 2002 days. I don't know why you would bring that up. Singles televised match. I thought we were going to get a Cena match right here tonight. I mean, we only got 3 matches. Another one wouldn't have killed us. But if they're calling 2002 John Cena's record and not having won a singles televised match, it may be we are getting a singles televised match. John Cena at Crown Jewel. Should be interesting. I thought this was a very good segment. I thought the brawl with Jimmy and Jey, we all know that's going to be the direction for WrestleMania. I thought the brawl with Jimmy and Jey was very well done. It was nicely executed, and it was intense. It did the job, for sure. And I like the fact that Jey wanted revenge on Jimmy for what he did to him and Cody on Monday Night Raw. It needs to be paid for. And Jey wanted his revenge, so good on him. We got a video airing on Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. It's nice to know that SmackDown is bringing them back, and they are not completely done with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. They've been absent for quite a while. Vince had them drop the women's tag team titles, and then they seemingly disappeared off the television. Now they're back on television. And a lot of women that disappeared for a very long time are back on television. Should give you a nice, clear indication on who's booking the show. Backstage, we see the new SmackDown GM, Nick Aldis. He gave Jey Uso a $10,000 fine and told security to escort this man out of the building. Adam Pearce was standing there with him, and Aldis had Pearce escorted from the building as well. Adam Pearce did not want Jey Uso kicked from the building. He's like, don't worry about it. I'll escort him out of the building. We don't need to get all serious here. And then Nick Aldis said, well, why don't you leave the building as well? Security escort you and Jey Uso out of the building. And Adam Pearce was like, really? You're kicking me out of the building off of a show that's been mine for how long now? Aldis said yes. And Pearce then said, okay, let the games begin. What does that mean? Let the war games begin. That's what that means. That's what that means. Let the war games begin. Survivor Series. It looks like we may be getting some sort of brand warfare. Is this going to be a traditional Raw versus SmackDown type deal? Or is this going to be brand versus brand in a general sense, with the bloodline being involved, with Judgment Day and Cody and his team?
Hopefully,
the way that I see it.
I hope that it's war
But I
games.
like the fact that we are getting some sort of indication that there is a brand split. I knew Triple H was going to make sense of this. I just knew it. Vince didn't really give a shit. It was like the Wild Wild West. You have people from Raw showing up on SmackDown. You have people from SmackDown showing up on Raw because Vince wanted to break his own rules. Lied to the audience and then went back on what.
Sweet treats that are also
On that and really separating the brands. He's making it feel like you can't just jump from Raw to SmackDown and SmackDown to Raw. If you do, there will be implications. There will be consequences. Like in this case with Jey Uso, he's not supposed to be here. He got fined and thrown out of the building. Adam Pearce didn't want him to go that route, but Nick Aldis said, all right, that's your show. Keep your guys over there. This is my show. You're interfering in my business now. And Adam Pearce was kicked out. Nick Aldis wanted him gone, and Adam Pearce said, let the games begin. I like that we're drawing a line in the sand and separating the rosters. It amounts to anything. That's a victory in itself. How many times have I told you guys that we need to see separate brands? When we do get the brands mixed together, when we do, it'll feel more special. If you don't have people infiltrating from one show to the other on a weekly basis, when we get those brands together, it should be a special moment. Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, Money in the Bank, WrestleMania, whatever. There should be only a set amount of days in the year where both shows are on the same show, and it's allowed. I like the fact that WWE and Triple H are making it feel unique and separate again. How they do that, how long they do that, in what manner will it take place at Survivor Series? Does it lead to War Games? We'll find out. We got 5 weeks till Survivor Series. I think will be fun. Logan Paul. He's out there and he's calling out Rey Mysterio. Logan Paul said that 6 days ago he was in England.
I might well just end the video. I don't know, I think I'm getting bored. It's late, I'm getting tired. I think I made the video long enough. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. This is Mr. Blackhammer 2021. Enjoy my video. This was SmackDown review. This is what you saw on Now over there, down here is Rampage, but here is what you saw on SmackDown. Yeah. Very good show, very decent. Now let's see what happens on Raw this week. And then we'll go into Crown Jewels. Alright, my brother end the video. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.